One of the most important parts, the most integral part of GTA is a car. It's a vehicle. It's a mode of transportation. Cars are a huge part of GTA, which shouldn't be surprising since the A stands for auto in the franchise's title. GTA 5, tons of cars for you to either buy for your collection or steal from an NPC off the street. GTA 6, it's going to have an even larger selection of vehicles to choose from. We're going to go over every single leaked car that could potentially be in GTA 6 today. Welcome to the channel, everybody. Thank you for all the love on the recent GTA 6 content. Drop a like. Make sure you have those notifications fully turned on. Now, the master list of available cars in GTA 6 likely won't be available till after the game comes out. But we have our own master list. We actually got a ton of vehicle information from that giant Rockstar data breach last year. So this video, we are going to go over 23 cars that were leaked for GTA 6, and a huge shout out to the legends on Reddit who were able to figure all this out. Now, keep in mind, I'm going to be using the real-world car names for this list. But when GTA 6 comes out, they'll all be renamed something else to fit in with the GTA universe. You know the drill. You know how this works. Also remember that all of this is completely subject to change because for all we know, some of these cars may not make it in the launch build for the game. It's all alleged, nothing confirmed. Do your take it with a grain of salt deeds here, okay? But also remember, these cars are also part of that massive leak. So I'd say there's a decent chance that a lot of them make it into the game at one point or another. So you let me know in the comments which of these cars you want to drive the most. Which one are you going to drive first? Drop a like, and let's start off at number 23. The Chevy Sonic Hatchback 2019. Very modern looking car. Not exactly the kind of thing you'd want to get in a street race with, but it will probably be very common for NPCs to have around Vice City. So get ready to steal a whole lot of these. And we'll put up pictures of the real world versions, and then GTA will have their counterparts, so you at least have a good idea of what they look like. Next up is the Buick Skylark sedan from the 90s. This is classic. It emanates classic. I mean, this classic car has a very Florida vibe to it, if you ask me. Sort of thing you'd see in Jerry's grandparents driving in a Seinfeld rerun. Yeah, maybe that's just me, but I think it's going to fit well with a modern day Vice City setting. The Honda Accord 2018. Now, this car will likely be called the Dinka, in GTA 6. Will also likely be a common civilian car. Nothing too crazy, but a nice background car to help immerse you in the world. The Ford Explorer 2003. Standard SUV will likely be called the Vapid Prospector in the game. You can pile all your buddies in the back seat, drive to a job. Just don't expect to get great gas mileage because in real life, the 2003 Ford Explorer gets around 15 miles per gallon in the city. And if we believe the rumors that we're going to have to actually fill up our tanks, that's not going to be good. The Ford Ranger Off-Road 2017. Classic pickup truck that is likely going to be called the Vapid Rover in game. It's relatively modern pickup too, I guess. So there may be a few different versions of it driving around the streets of Vice City. Nothing flashy, but you have to have trucks. The Subaru Forester SUV 2019, another SUV, likely going to be pretty common around the map, and the leaks suggest it could be called the Karen in-game, so be on a lookout for that, assuming you like driving SUVs in GTA games. Not sure if that's a thing people like, but just in case, now you know what to expect. The Chrysler Sebring. It's been speculated this may actually be the return of the Kuruma from GTA 3, which was also based on the Sebring. Rockstar loves to do little callbacks to previous GTA games, and that GTA 3 car would fit right in with the rest of these vehicles, so why not? The Ford Taurus. Now, the Taurus was actually retired in 2019 after 30 years of production, so naturally it's one of the most recognizable cars on the road in real life. It's likely going to be called the Vapid Interceptor in GTA 6, although it's unclear which generation of Taurus the in-game model will be based off of, but it'll probably be there. The Buick Estate Wagon 1971. Classic car. Possibly going to be the personal vehicle of Lucia. We'll see. It's not confirmed, but looking at it, it does kind of seem like that kind of car for a main character in GTA to drive around in. And speaking of classics, the Cadillac Eldorado 1959. This is awesome. It's basically the quintessential Cadillac model. Like the other cars in GTA 6, it will be given a new name to avoid licensing issues, but rest assured, it looks like the classic Cadillac could be in the game. The Jeep Scrambler 1980s. Old school Jeeps are pretty awesome, and they're pretty sought after now. And the 80s version of the Scrambler, probably going to be in GTA 6. It probably won't be the best choice for armored getaways or gunfights due to the lack of cover, but it's going to be pretty sweet, and if you like to off-road, this is probably going to be your Jeep of choice. The Chevy GMC Vandura from 1992 to 1996. If you need a sketchy van, here you go. I mean, you'll be able to pile a bunch of people in here, go from job to job. Just don't expect to get any compliments on how cool your car looks because, well, it's sketchy and it looks like crap. But maybe that's part of the appeal of having a sketchy van in a GTA game. You kind of just have to have one. The Ford Ranchero, 1970. This is one of the most underrated cars, if you ask me. When you think of classic, you probably don't think of the Ranchero, but you should because it looks sweet. I'm going to look at, I'm going to look for one of these right away when I get my hands on GTA 6. Now we get into the top 10. The Chevrolet Impala 2014 through 2020. More modern of a car. You've probably seen it a million times on the highway, so naturally, it'll probably be driving around modern Vice City. You'll probably destroy plenty of these during your time in-game. The Ride-On Excavator. Now, this technically isn't a car, but I'm excited to goof around in it. There have been a few elements in the leaks that suggest we may be able to hop on a full-sized excavator in GTA 6, presumably with some kind of controls for the tools. So at the very least, we should be able to run over cop cars, maybe squish enemies in this thing, which would be fun. It's also believed that it will have a grapple hook, which you already know. It's going to be a good time. The Toyota RAV4. This is a more modern SUV. It's been getting more popular in the real world. Makes sense for it to show up in GTA 6. Just don't expect anything crazy. It's probably going to be a very common carjacking target for most of the players. The Ford F-150 5th generation. Now, this classic pickup truck is one of the most iconic American cars ever made. It was in production from 1967 to 1972. When it comes to classic cars to include in a GTA game, I think this one's a no-brainer. And speaking of no-brainers, we segue the Chevy Malibu. Obviously not as cool or as iconic as the F-150, but the Malibu is one of the most successful cars in the country. First entered production all the way back in 64, and the 9th generation was released in 2016. It's believed the Malibu will finally be discontinued in 2025, but given how successful it's been over the last 50 years, I wouldn't be shocked at all if Chevy pulls a fast one on us and announces a 10th gen version instead. At number 5, the Ford Econoline 6x6 1988. Classic van, a bit of a step up from the classic sketchy van we talked about earlier, but not much. Clunky, slow, awkward to drive, but you'll be able to fit tons of stuff and people into it, so it might be worth jacking if you see one on the road and the situation calls for it. The Dodge Intrepid 1998. Very sleek car that helped put kind of solidity to Dodge as one of the main American car manufacturers in the late 90s. Plus, it got almost 30 miles to the gallon on the highway, which was pretty impressive at that time. It's still a very solid benchmark, and I'm pretty sure the police departments use the Intrepid. Now, at this point, we're going to stop talking about real-world cars, and we're going to mention 3 returning GTA Universe cars that are believed allegedly to be returning. If you're an active GTA player, you're probably going to recognize these. First up, the Mamba GT. 2-door roadster, awesome-looking sports cars, added to GTA Online as part of the Executives and Other Criminals update. Now, GTA 6 leaks have suggested that this car could be returning in the upcoming game, which makes sense to me since it was such a popular choice for existing players. Just get ready to pay a decent chunk of money to get your hands on it. At number 2, the Vapid Riata Classic. Off-road truck, pretty awesome. Popular choice in GTA Online once again. It was added in the Doomsday Heist update. Massive tires, tough body, tons of torque. You can take this thing basically anywhere. And finally, the Transgressor. This last car is a mystery. The leak suggested that a new car called the Transgressor will be in the game, and nobody really knows what it is. It's not an existing GTA car. It doesn't seem to be based on any real-world car. So what do you think a car called the Transgressor would be? It sounds very aggressive to me. So there you have it. Those are all the cars that are allegedly coming based off the huge GTA 6 leak, and I want to add 2. I really think we're going to have a Tesla in there. I think we're going to have a Tesla truck, Tesla semi, Tesla car, and I also think we'll probably have some form of the Ford Lightning, the EV, the electric Ford Lightning that's getting really, really popular as well. So there you go, guys. Let me know if any of these make it in. Which one are you going to hunt out first and get behind the wheel of? And I'll see you guys soon.